What's going on, guys? Welcome back. My name is Brandon, and today we have a fun and interesting fabrication and welding project to do. Stick around. I have a Ninja 1000 sport bike that I want to modify the exhaust on, but I didn't want to go cutting up my original exhaust because the original exhaust for that bike is just over $1,400. And the way this setup works is that the original exhaust actually comes factory with two mufflers coming off it. I want to do a modification, but I don't want a crazy modification. So I bought an exhaust system off eBay for a fraction of what a new exhaust would cost. Got a little bit of damage on it, and we need to do a little bit of work to make it work. Right here, where this little flat pad is, my bike has an O2 sensor on it. So I'm gonna have to weld in a bung for an O2 sensor. That's what this is. They're cheap, they're readily available, and we're just going to prep it up, weld the bung on right there. That's where it is on my bike. You can see how this bike was crashed. So something happened here, I don't know what. This is dented in a little bit. Let me flip it over and show you the other side. There's even more damage. So this is upside down. Now you can see how this has got a pretty good sized dent in it right here. Now the way this works is there's a bunch of chambers inside of this. And the mufflers that go on this bike don't have a lot of baffling in them because a lot of the sound detonation is done inside this chamber. So I think what my intentions are is I'm going to open this up, I'm going to cut this bottom section out, try to fix this dent, fix this damage, maybe modify the chambers, and then put some different aftermarket mufflers on them that have the packing in the muffler. It'll give it a little bit of maybe a deeper tone, a little bit of added sound. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for any horsepower increase or anything like that. I just want it to sound maybe a little bit, have a little bit more tone to it because it's almost silent right now. It's pretty quiet. We'll open it up, fix this, see what we can do, and then we'll do a comparison on the sound. We'll come back in a couple weeks, we'll put it on the bike, we'll do a before and after and see how it sounds, see how it looks. So the first thing I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to kind of draw a shape of where I want to cut and what I want to cut out so I can do these repairs, get this out of here. Like I said, I've never done this before, so be curious to see how this repair is going to work. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a diamond wheel and cut this off with a diamond wheel. I like to use diamond wheels just because I'm not really a big fan of the rock abrasive wheels. It just makes dust everywhere. And the diamonds last so much longer. It just gives a real good clean cut. And this is why I like having all my grinders set up, guys, with different stuff on them. Because, you know, you got a flap wheel, you got a wire brush, and different grinding attachments. If you want to see how I built this grinder rack, go check out the video. I'll have a link up above. But you can see I'm all set up right here. I just grabbed the grinder and off we go. We're in business. Whenever you're grinding metal, guys, make sure you're wearing the proper equipment. I'm not going to go huge on talking about safety here, but the reason I like to wear a cap is years ago I was doing all the safety stuff, respirator and eye protection and ears, and ended up with shavings obviously in my hair. Went to take a shower. While I'm standing in the shower, all the shards from the grinding and cutting operations went into my eyes. While you're in the shower, I'm rubbing my eyes, and I ended up embedding all kinds of metal in it. So now it's a good idea whenever I grind, I try to put on either a hat or a welding cap or something. Even when you are trying to be safe, sometimes accidents happen. So now I wear a cap, eye protection, respirator, and ear protection. So with that said, make sure you got some gloves. We'll get going. Get this thing opened up. So it looks like we got a little bit of like a little piece of packing, probably for rattles, to keep this from rattling. And then I think we're gonna have to cut out this baffle also. So we got at least the bottom off it. This might be hard to pull this out, but we'll give it a try. But it looks like right now there's just a couple small tack welds that are holding that in. So once we get that out, I think this little piece will come out. I'm just going to grind these flush using a hard disc. This is actually going to be a lot easier than I thought. You can see how this works. So the exhaust comes in, then it goes into this chamber. The exhaust bounces off the back wall to the chamber, comes back out in through that hole, then it can radiate out through that muffler, then out through that muffler. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off right here so that it opens into just this chamber. Then I'm going to block off this and this. So once the exhaust comes in, it will only be in this little chamber here, and it'll go out that way, go out that way. Should deepen the tone a little bit, and then any of the bowing, remember how we said it was bent on the top, I can just hit it in here to straighten that out. So should be pretty easy. We'll do the hard part first, then we'll do the O2 sensor last. While I have this grinder out, I'm just going to clean up these little areas of weld right here, make these look a little bit better. So I can't quite get all the way in there, guys, so what I'm going to have to do is, I'm only able to get maybe almost halfway through it. I'm going to have to use a reciprocating saw and just finish it out the rest of the way. Almost out, guys. I think what I need to do is cut it like right here. Might be welded right here. I'll cut it off right here, and then I can flex this and it should come right out. So there's that, and this one must almost be out. Alright guys, we're making some really good progress. I got that piece out of there, and that's that right there. So now you can see we're all opened up. And then once I block off this, then the exhaust will just come in and go out to each side. I think I am going to use this plate though, guys. I bent it back straight a little bit. I just did it real quick. The only reason I say that is because if I don't, my concerns are I could have rattles. So I think I'm going to put this baffle back in, and then we'll put the sound deadening material back in, and then we'll put this on to the outside. Then it'll be basically, it'll be putting it back exactly the way it was from the factory and making it look bone stock. That's the idea I'm going for, is I don't want it to look like we've modified it. This should have a much deeper tone, I'm hoping, because it's not coming in to this chamber, canceling out, then coming back out. So hopefully it's a little more direct. But I think the next thing we got to do is, this is kind of like concaved in. I need to take and just hit this a few times right in here to flatten that out, because it looks a little bent. I mean, you can kind of get a better idea right here that that's got a little bend in it. I think that little belly shouldn't be there. I think that's supposed to be out a little bit further, and it appears that way too by looking at it inside. So that'll be easy. I'm just going to put a block of wood right here and then just hit it on the inside right here. That'll tap it down. That'll be good. It's kind of obvious that this is the mounting point right here, so that would be attached to the bike solid, and then obviously somebody hit something here hard which pushed the exhaust upwards, causing this to bend in. So that makes sense. You'll never notice it. This is really tucked up under the bike, and it probably wouldn't bother anything, but I'm right here, I might as well make it just right, you know. I'll tell you guys, these clamps are some handy as far as like attaching stuff to the workbench. Just saves so much time. Now I'll take a block of wood, hit it right inside here, knock it down. Probably hard to see, but this appears as though it actually is uphill inside here. Wow, that looks like it's doing it. Back this off a little bit. Move my block out a little bit closer to the edge. Yeah, that's it right there, guys. much, much, much better. Got a little bit more right up here. Right here it's got a crease. You're not going to even know this was there like that. Look at that, guys. It's not concave anymore. That's how it should have looked right there. Might even gone too much, but I'd rather go too much than not enough, you know. Now you can see I got a little bit of a dent right here. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to work that dent out using some different things called dollies. And what these do is you just put them behind the metal, then hit the metal, and it just helps shape it. You see how that side's got like a little curve in it? And yeah, it just helps shape bodywork. You put one on one side, then hit it with a hammer on the other, and it just helps shape it. I'm not looking to get it perfect. I'm just looking to get a lot better. I think we can get it almost perfect, enough that you never ever know. See how that's helped flatten that out? It's not making it perfect, but it's helping. Alright, so we got that fairly close. And now what we're going to do is we will put in this plug for the bypass so it doesn't go into that back chamber. So I got a little piece. It's just almost a whisker too small, but we'll make it work. And trace it out. Bring it over to the portable bandsaw, over the bandsaw stand, and we'll cut it out. And if you haven't seen how I built this handy tool, I'll have a link down below as well. Alright, now we'll grab our third grinder and with a flap wheel on it, and we'll start cleaning up all those pieces. This will go in here just like that. It does fit. It just fits dry. There it goes. That'll plug that off. So we'll have to clean that all up all the way around. Clean up all around here. Clean up this screen and this. And then we'll be good. Then we'll start welding everything. Now we'll just put this plate in there and we'll get ready to start welding it up. Oh yeah, that'll work good. It's gonna work really good. Okay, good. Sweet. So now I've got this patch panel all set in there and we just got to weld it up, and you can see now when the exhaust comes in, it can't go into this back chamber and it'll literally just go out the side exhaust pipes. That should work pretty slick. So now we just got to set up the welder and get that going. And as always, I like to share what I'm using and what I'm doing. We're set up for steel wire, and I'm using 30 thousandths diameter solid steel wire. We're on C25 gas. I'm going to hit this, which will purge the gas solenoid, and we'll lower this down because we were doing some other stuff. We'll get it to maybe about 16 CFH. You can see right there. Now it's kind of hard to see because of the glare, but for material thickness, we're going to set it up for, let's see, what are we? 16 gauge. Yep, we'll set it up for 16 gauge. And you can see 16 gauge right there is 0.059. So now we just got to set our welder up for that. So I'm on material thickness. You can toggle it to amps, or you could toggle it to wire feed speed. So we'll thickness 60, 0.59, 0.60, close enough. And setting up the welder is as simple as that. So now we're ready to start welding. So I'm going to start by getting things tacked up in here, guys, and then I'll come back and then we'll just put more weld on it as we go. But for right now, I just want to get some tacks in it and get it into place. Big gun's a little big for getting in these little tight areas though. There, I've got it tacked in pretty well now. Now I'm going to start adding a little more weld metal to it. Last thing we want is this thing to come apart and start rattling. So I got a couple welds down in there. Those will hold real well. Now, it's real hard to get up underneath, so I'm going to do it from this side and just do a bunch of tacks there. That'll be plenty. There, got it all welded up on the side that won't have any exhaust gases in it. And then I got it welded up on this side, put a bunch of reinforcement in it, plug welded it here, plug welded it there, put more weld here, even on the openings here, just so that this, God forbid, you don't ever want this rattling loose. So there, I've got this all blown out, it's all clean. Now we'll put this mesh back in, and we'll just tack, again, do the same thing, tack this around. I'll pry it into shape as we go. I turned the amperage down just a little bit because this is a little thinner. To get everything to line up, I'm just going to take a sheetrock screw, stick it in, and then grab it with my pliers to get it to line up where I want it, and then tack it in. Oh yeah, this is coming together good. See how this needs to line up? This edge right here needs to come way up to here. Well, I'll be able to do that by screwing this screw in a little bit and prying up on it a little, like that. Alright guys, I've got that welded up as good as it needs to be, and now I am just going to, let's see, put this stuff back in there and lay this in just like that and weld her up. Now, just try to get this on here best I can, kind of keep it centered so we don't have too huge of a gap on one side versus the other. Wow guys, I think this is going to look so good you'll never even know it was done. That's the idea though, that's kind of what I was hoping for. I am wicked excited about this guys. I just can't wait to try this. This thing is going to look pretty close to factory when it's done. The only thing that I couldn't quite get perfect was that dent. But I got some of it out. But again, like I said, it's way under the bike. You're not going to see it. So all we got to do now is just grind this down. I'm going to try to grind this pretty flush. Make everything kind of blend in. Hopefully it'll look good. And then we'll move on to putting in the O2 sensor bung. There, now all we got to do now is put in the O2 sensor bung. And I'm just kind of like eyeballing where the center of the hole needs to be. And that looks pretty close right there. And we will center punch it, and then I'll just use a step drill bit to drill it out. I'll use a couple different drill bits just to get it started, and then we'll go to the step drill. And now I'm going to go right with a step drill. So I've ground this area all out nice and neat, and I've ground the flats on the O2 sensor bung. And now we just got to weld it on. I'll have to go a little bit higher with the amperage. I was at 35 thousandths before for a setting, so I'll probably go up to about 40, probably 40 thousandths. All right, here we go. Just kind of center this old girl up in there. Probably do a couple passes on this also. And I'm going all the way around it, guys. I'm building this up real good so that it doesn't, you know, the vibration, so it doesn't tear the metal underneath. That way it's got a nice, good bearing surface for this to go in. Now I'm going to turn it to get a little bit more comfortable. There it is, guys. That's it. I am so excited how this came out. So the next time you see it, it'll look pretty much almost brand new. I'm going to go over everything with steel wool. That'll polish everything up nice. The O2 sensor bung, that's all on there. Real nice. That's not going anywhere. Like I said, I did a nice wide bead. That way it spreads out that surface area so that the vibration and stuff won't crack this metal all the way around. Then the dip that we had in that's all gone now. We've got that all pounded out. I still got to clean it all up. All this black stuff, that's all from the chain. When you lube your chain, it slings all up under here. And then the underside. And again, it's not perfect. You can see this little down in here. These are the factory welds here. That's not my doing. So, but yeah, it's gonna look great, guys. This is good as it needs to be. It's underneath the bike, like I said. You're never going to see all this. I'll steel wool this all up, and this will look awesome. And that's all there is to it, guys. Now, stick around. Within the next few weeks or so, once the weather starts getting better here in Maine, we'll actually take this exhaust, put it on. We'll actually be able to do a comparison. See how this sounds now after we've modified it. Hopefully we don't have any problems, to how it used to sound. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. If this is something that you like, please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. If you're wondering what I'm working on before it makes it up to YouTube, you guys can catch me on Facebook and on Instagram. New videos every week, so be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and tune in for all kinds of welding, fabrication videos. Till next week, guys, I will see you then. Take care, stay safe, see ya.